You are going to die. Not today probably, but someday certainly. And so is everyone you love, so is everyone who has ever hurt you, so is everyone whose opinion you have spent years quietly organizing your entire life around. Sit with that for 1 second, because most people never do. Most people spend decades of their one finite, non-negotiable life flinching at things that will not matter in 5 years. A stranger's opinion, a bad day, a comment someone made that they are still replaying at 2 a.m., while the actual irreplaceable minutes of their life quietly disappear. The Stoics were not comforting people. They were not in the business of telling you everything happens for a reason, or that time heals all wounds, or any of the soft, forgettable things people say to avoid an uncomfortable truth. They looked directly at death, loss, humiliation, betrayal, and the total unfairness of existence. And they built, out of that unflinching look, the single most practical operating system for a human life that has ever been written down. 10 principles, not theory, not comfort, weapons. By the end of this video, something in you is going to be different, not because I'm going to motivate you, but because you're about to hear 10 truths most people spend their whole lives avoiding, and once you actually hear them, you cannot unhear them. If this channel means something to you, subscribe right now before you get distracted, because the algorithm buries videos like this one fast, and I don't want you to lose it. Now let's begin. Here is the thing nobody tells you about pain. It is not optional. It was never going to be optional. You do not get to choose a life where nothing goes wrong, where nobody betrays you, where your body never fails, where the people you love live forever. That version of life does not exist and has never existed for a single human being on this earth. What you get to choose, the only thing you ever actually get to choose, is what you do with it. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man alive in his time, buried multiple children. He ruled through a plague that killed a quarter of his empire. He spent nearly his entire reign at war, sleeping in military tents instead of palaces, writing to himself by candlelight because he had no one else he could say these things to. Epictetus was born a slave. His leg was broken by his own master. He was banished from his home, twice, by 2 different emperors who found his ideas dangerous. Seneca was exiled to a barren island for 8 years on a charge that was almost certainly fabricated, watched his closest allies abandon him the moment he stopped being useful, and was ultimately ordered to end his own life by the same emperor he had spent years mentoring. These were not men who theorized about suffering from a distance. These were men who suffered catastrophically and still built something unbreakable inside themselves anyway. That is where these 10 principles come from. Not comfort, survival. Let's go. Principle 1. You do not control what happens to you. You only control what you do next. This is the principle everything else in this video depends on, so listen closely. Right now, somewhere in your life, there is something eating at you that you cannot actually change. A decision someone else made, a diagnosis, a job loss, something someone said about you that you cannot unsay, undo, or take back. And you are suffering twice for it. Once, because it happened, and a second time, an entirely separate and unnecessary time because you keep fighting the fact that it happened at all. Epictetus said it in 9 words that should be tattooed on the inside of your skull. Make the best use of what is in your power, not what should be in your power, not what you wish were in your power, what actually is. Stop spending your finite, irreplaceable energy trying to rewrite the past or control someone else's choices. You cannot. You never could. The only lever that has ever existed in the entire history of every human being who has ever lived is your response. That's it. That's the whole lever. The moment you stop fighting for control you were never going to have, you get back an enormous amount of energy you didn't even know you were spending. Principle 2. Your suffering is coming from your story, not your situation. Here is something that is going to feel uncomfortable, and I want you to hear it anyway because it is the truth and you need it. The event that hurt you is not what's actually torturing you right now. It's the story you built on top of it. The meaning you assigned. The narrative running in the background of your mind. This proves I'm unlovable. This proves I'll never succeed. This proves I was right to distrust everyone. Marcus Aurelius wrote it plainly. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Read that again. You have the power to revoke it at any moment, not the event. The event already happened. You cannot revoke that. But the meaning, the story, that part was always yours. You built it, which means you can also take it apart. This is not toxic positivity. This is not pretending you're fine when you're not. This is the much harder, much more honest work of separating what actually happened to you from the narrative you've been quietly torturing yourself with ever since. Principle 3. Everyone you love is on loan. I need you to actually feel this one, not just hear it. Every single person you love, your parents, your children, your partner, your closest friends, is temporary. Not might be temporary, is temporary. Every single relationship you have ever had will end, either by your death or theirs, and there is no version of your life where that isn't true. Most people spend their entire lives running from that fact. The Stoics ran directly at it, not because they were morbid, but because they understood something almost nobody else is willing to accept. The awareness of loss is what makes love urgent instead of assumed. Epictetus told his students to hold this thought about everyone they loved. Never say of anything, I have lost it, but instead, I have given it back. You do not own the people in your life. You were given time with them, on terms you never got to negotiate, for a duration nobody tells you in advance. Stop taking that time for granted. Stop assuming there will always be another chance to say the thing, make the call, show up the way you meant to. There will not always be another chance. There has never been a guarantee of another chance. Act accordingly starting today. Principle 4. Most of what you're afraid of will never happen. Think about the last time you lay awake at night, spiraling about something that felt like an absolute catastrophe. Now ask yourself honestly, how many of those imagined catastrophes actually happened, exactly the way you feared they would? Almost none of them. That is not a coincidence. That is the specific, predictable shape of human fear. Your mind does not accurately predict the future. It manufactures worst-case scenarios and then makes you live through them in advance, for free, without you ever having asked for the privilege. Seneca understood this with brutal clarity. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. You have already survived every hard day you have ever lived through. Every single one. That is 100% success rate. And yet your mind keeps insisting the next hard day will be the one that finally breaks you. It won't. It never has. Stop prepaying in anxiety for a future that has not arrived and statistically will almost certainly never look the way your fear is currently rehearsing it. Principle 5. Your reputation is none of your business. Say this out loud if you need to. What other people think of me is not my business. You have spent years, maybe your entire life, managing an audience inside your head that is barely paying attention to you at all. Adjusting what you say, what you wear, what you post, what you admit to wanting, all in service of an opinion that exists entirely inside someone else's head, filtered through their own insecurities, their own bad day, their own unrelated baggage that has nothing to do with you. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this exact trap. How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. You are not responsible for managing other people's perception of you. You were never responsible for that. You're responsible for one thing only, being someone you can actually respect when you're alone with yourself at the end of the day. Let the opinions go, all of them. The good ones and the bad ones, none of them were ever yours to carry. Principle 6. Discomfort is the price of every single thing worth having. Nothing that has ever mattered in your life came without a cost. Not your body, not your career, not your relationships, not your peace of mind. And yet most people spend their lives structuring everything around avoiding discomfort. The difficult conversation, the hard workout, the risk that might fail, the boundary that might upset someone. And then they wonder, years later, why their life feels small. It feels small because you kept choosing the version of every decision that avoided discomfort. And comfort chosen over and over compounds into a life that never actually grew. Epictetus was blunt about this. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. Growth requires discomfort the way fruit requires time. There is no shortcut. There has never been a shortcut. Stop looking for one and start doing the uncomfortable thing today on purpose, because it is the only path that has ever actually led anywhere. Principle 7. You are not your emotions. You are what notices them. This one will change how you experience every difficult feeling for the rest of your life if you actually let it land. When anger rises in you, you are not the anger. When grief hits you, you are not the grief. When anxiety floods your chest, you are not the anxiety. There is a part of you, quiet, constant, unmoved, that is simply observing all of it happen. That observer is the actual you. The emotion is weather passing through. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, in the middle of a war, surrounded by death. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The next time a feeling threatens to consume you completely, try this. Instead of saying, I am furious, say, I am noticing fury moving through me. That single shift in language is not a trick, it's the truth. And the truth sets you free from being controlled by something that was only ever supposed to pass through you. Principle 8. You are closer to your own death than you think. This is the one people don't want to hear, and it's the one that matters most. You are not guaranteed tomorrow. Nobody is. Not you, not the people you love, not anyone. And the strange, almost unbearable truth the Stoics discovered is that facing this fact directly, rather than avoiding it the way almost everyone does, is what makes life feel most alive, not most terrifying. Marcus Aurelius carried this thought with him every single day of his reign. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, not to make you anxious, to make you honest. If you knew with certainty that you had 1 year left, what would you stop tolerating? What would you finally say? What relationship would you finally repair or finally release? You don't actually know you have more than 1 year. Nobody does. Stop living like death is a distant abstraction and start living like the finite, urgent, precious thing your life actually is. Principle 9. Every obstacle in your way is also your way forward. You have been treating the hard thing in your life right now as an interruption, as something standing between you and the life you're supposed to be living. It isn't an interruption. It is the material. It is quite literally what your actual life is currently made of. Marcus Aurelius left behind the single most quoted sentence in all of Stoic philosophy for exactly this reason. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The job loss is not blocking your career. It is currently your career in its hardest phase. The heartbreak is not blocking your capacity to love again. It is training it. The failure is not evidence you should stop. It is the raw material every single person who ever succeeded at anything had to work with before you. Stop waiting for the obstacle to move so your real life can begin. The obstacle is not in front of your life. It is your life right now, asking something of you. Principle 10. None of this matters if you don't actually live it today. Here is the last thing, and it is the one that determines whether everything you just heard changes anything at all. You can watch 100 videos like this one. You can nod along to every single principle, feel briefly moved, and then go back tomorrow to exactly the life you were living before you clicked play. That is what most people do. That is why most people watch videos about transformation and never actually transform. Epictetus had almost no patience for students who wanted to discuss philosophy without living it. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You do not need one more idea. You have enough ideas. What you need is to take exactly one thing from this video, one principle, the one that hit hardest, and do something different because of it before you go to sleep tonight. Send the message you've been avoiding. Stop managing an opinion that was never yours to carry. Sit with the discomfort you've been running from for a year. Say the thing to the person who is not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. Do it today. Not because today is special, because you were never actually promised another one. You do not control what happens to you. You control what you do next. Your suffering comes from the story, not the situation, and you have the power to revoke that story at any moment. Everyone you love is on loan. Stop assuming there will always be another chance. Almost none of what you fear will actually happen. You have already survived 100% of your worst days. Other people's opinions of you were never your business, and they were never yours to carry. Discomfort is the price of every single thing that has ever mattered. There is no version of a meaningful life that skips it. You are not your emotions. You are the quiet thing that notices them passing through. You are closer to your own death than you think, and that truth is not meant to terrify you. It's meant to wake you up. Every obstacle in your way is not blocking your life. It is your life, right now, asking something of you. And none of it matters, not one word of it, if you don't actually do something different starting today. Marcus Aurelius wrote something near the end of his life that I want to leave you with, because it says, in one sentence, everything 10 principles have been trying to tell you. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop discussing the life you want. Stop planning the version of yourself you'll become someday. Someday is not a real day. Today is the only day that has ever actually existed for you. If this video moved something in you, don't just scroll past it. Subscribe so the next one finds you when you need it. Tell me in the comments which principle hit hardest. I read every single one. And it helps this reach the next person who needs to hear it exactly like you just did. Take care of your mind. The world will take care of itself. Until next time.